I don't know if it was something else that I read from some other article somewhere, but I very much think that like you have so the biggest comparison.
Did your phone just go off?
My phone, yeah, I don't.
You got to put that on mute, bro. You gotta. Can you silence that right now?
All right,
guys.
Here,
Guys, can I
silencing?
Guys, can I tell you something?
It was a Twitch notification.
This is all. Oh, nice. This is all stuff that just happens. But I think we just found our opening for this episode.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it.
All right, and welcome once again to another edition of Game Wild.
Oh, yes.
So, one big piece of feedback I got last week was that I'm kind of quiet. So what we're going to try to do...
And I'm too loud, so we have a problem.
Right, exactly. So we have to find that middle ground.
Yeah.
So what I did to try to fix that, and you'll see it if you're on YouTube, is you'll actually be able to see my mic because I'm going to try to talk into it a little bit closer. Before I was a little bit further away, you could see that I would sit back and you'd catch my voice, but it wouldn't be loud enough where people felt like the balance was there between Justin and I.
Yep.
So hopefully the feedback has been taken and we're putting it to good use, and here I am up close to my mic and speaking into it, hopefully clearly enough for you to understand. So now that that's out of the way, welcome to Game Wild. It looks like, what is this, week 5?
This is, oh shit, I already lost track. No,
wow, we can't
week
even count.
6? I don't know. I have no idea.
6.
I think it's week 6.
It's another edition of the podcast. It's going to be in the notes. It's going to be on our
and hopefully
channel.
by week 10 we have the sound down correctly. So
yeah, let's hope so. It's a learning process, kids. Anyways, so this is Game Wild. We talk about video games and stuff like that. My name is Joe, aka Ruffhouse Plays on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff. And let me introduce you right now to my partner in crime, SJW.
Oh,
Shit
wow.
Just Works. Justin.
I'm gonna.
It didn't look like that on mine. I was looking at mine. I bet you when I'm doing this in yours, it's actually pointing to like the away.
No. It points at me. You're pointing at me. You got it right.
Okay,
yeah, you actually got the reverse right. So for all of you new listeners, if you don't know, we do have a YouTube channel for Game Wild as well. So there is some visual things going on, and that's what we're referring to. So if you want to check it out, go for it. But wow, I got like a little jingle that time. Like for the introduction, that was nice. It felt good, man. It felt good. And actually, I have my mic
feels good, man.
A little bit closer to my mouth as well because hopefully I can, if the same thing happens, I can kind of lower mine to compensate for whatever sound on your end. So we'll see. But like Joe said, it's a learning process. We're having fun doing it, and it's always a good time here. We talk about video games. We talk about random shit too. So we'll see what happens today, but we do have actually some interesting stuff. So it is Valentine's Day.
Yeah, well, it's not Valentine's Day today, but it will be tomorrow. So no, it's not that late.
No.
So guys, just a heads up before we get into everything, I just want to thank everyone for listening, and if you are listening, please rate us with 5 stars on any platform that you have.
Ooh, you did it in the beginning this time.
Rating.
Oh, you did it in the beginning.
I did it at the beginning because that's what I was told I was supposed to do.
Good catch.
So I want to do that. So I'm breaking everything up. I just screwed up our intro to the first piece.
No, it's cool. Okay. We didn't even have that in the outline, and you remembered it. So that's
I try
great.
to remember these things. But anyways, guys, I just want to let you know we're recording on a Thursday this week. Usually we record on Saturday and release it on Sunday night into Monday morning. We can still release it on Sunday night into Monday morning because of the magic of the internet.
Algorithms, rhythms.
You can actually set it and forget it, and it will just pop out on Monday morning. So you guys will still get it on Monday morning, even though it's Thursday. So if we missed anything, so be it. The reason why we are recording on a Thursday night is because tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And believe it or not, even though we are gamers and we are very hardcore about everything that we have, we both have significant others. As a matter of fact, I'm married. I have a child. And And it could be because I'm older.
Dude, this is why we're doing a podcast, because I literally right before you said that, I was gonna butt in and be like, and believe it or not, we actually have a girlfriend, and in your case, a wife. So
yes,
I don't know how you did that. That's I don't know, man.
Well, I don't even know how you did yours right now either. So it's fine. We're both amazing people.
I ask myself that question every day, Joe. Every day.
So. The whole point of it all is the fact that, well, we actually are both going away for Valentine's Day. Now, it's interesting because we're not going to the same places, but we are both going away. So I'm going up to the beach, even though it's going to be cold, and you're going to some type of ice castle place, like Frozen style. So that sounds
Hey,
fun.
man, you can't go wrong with Disney. Come on, a Disney
No,
date?
Absolutely not.
Hell yeah.
Disney Plus for the win.
If you guys haven't heard of it, for you listeners out there, there's like 5 locations across the country. It's not it's not very well known either, because there is only 5 locations. This one's in New Hampshire, but check it out. It's literally just a giant freaking ice castle, and it's definitely an awesome date idea for your loved ones. So definitely recommend it.
Nice. So basically, since we're going to be away for the weekend, we're not going to be able to record, so we're recording tonight.
Yes.
And that opened up the first topic tonight, is that, well, we're both staying at hotels in different areas, but apparently it looks like there is what they're calling a retro paradise in Texas, where Atari is opening up a video game themed hotel. And if the picture on the actual website that you showed me here is crazy. Correct, it looks like a giant Atari symbol. Basically is what the hotel is going to look like, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the Atari logo is on the side of the building, and it does look very modern. It's all
and
glass.
For you peeps out there that are on YouTube, we'll be showing off a picture of it as well.
Oh, I got you. I got you. It's right here.
So make it happen, Captain.
Oh, we're making it happen. So yeah, again, check out the YouTube. You can see the picture. It's got the Atari logo, like just regular text on the side of the building, and then on like a different side of the building, it has the actual Atari symbol like etched into the side, the entire from the top to the bottom of the building. But it looks cool. Honestly, I'm surprised this didn't happen quicker. I'm honestly surprised that somebody didn't make some sort of video game hotel getaway thing faster.
Yeah, and of course it's going to be opening up in the Midwest to West Coast areas, so you'll be able to see it in Austin, Chicago, Denver, Las Vegas, San Francisco, Seattle, and San Jose, California. It does look like that it's going to try to go retro 80s, obviously it being Atari. It's going to be a unique experience, one-of-a-kind video game themed destination, and believe it or not, select hotels will also offer a state-of-the-art venue for studios to accommodate esports events, which is pretty cool. So not only are they going to be retro, but they're going to have some esports stuff too, so they're going to be going new age on top of it. So this is amazing. This is great. This is what we need to see more happening in the world of
gaming.
Video games.
Yeah,
it's just
definitely
expanding to different arts, and it looks like one of the first hotels is slated to break ground this year in Phoenix, Arizona. So
you said there's one in Houston, right?
That. Well, no, I said they're going to have one in Texas. The actual
where did it say? Does it say
the actual article you sent us is saying that it's a destination in Texas, but
I think it's
the
Houston,
plan is
maybe?
The plan is to Austin, Texas.
Oh, Austin.
The plan
Austin,
is to open in places like Austin, Chicago, Denver, Las Vegas, San Francisco, Seattle, and San Jose. So it'll be cool.
Well, and here's the thing too, from a business perspective, this is great for Atari, because I don't know anything about Atari's books right now, or how well their finances are doing, or how well their gaming everything is doing right now, because they are definitely like an old school 1980s system. But I will say they're tapping into a huge growing market right now. I mean, esports is becoming a huge thing. It's been growing astronomically in the last couple of years. And actually, one of the things in the article, it states a massive 100,000 square foot esports facility. So this is separate from the hotel. So this is not the hotel. Was actually opened in Arlington in 2018. So it only makes sense that, okay, here's a massive esports arena. Let's put an esports hotel with a giant Atari logo on the side. Boom. Everybody's going to stay there. Why? Literally just because it's called an Atari hotel. Like, I don't even think people will care what's inside the hotel as long as they have a bed. They just want to say they stayed at the Atari hotel for the esports tournament. If you're a true gamer, I mean, it's just a nostalgic feeling, you know. So
right.
And actually, interesting note, dude. First time I've seen this figure. Maybe we can discuss this in another podcast as well. But it says in 2019, more than 2.5 billion gamers across the world spent 152.1 billion on games. That's insane.
That's not a surprise. Yeah, not a surprise insane. Nowadays. When you look at everything that's going on, that's just not a surprise to me.
Oh yeah. So would you stay there?
Yeah, of course I would. Of course I would at least try it out.
What would you expect though? Like what would you actually expect staying at the hotel? Like
I don't know, like a probably themed rooms. So like
that's
you
a good
rent
idea.
So I would think you would say, okay, I want to go and get the Pac-Man suite
or the Space Invader room. Yeah.
Or the Space Invader room or the Centipede room or Space Invaders,
Asteroids. Can't forget Asteroids, Joe. Come on.
Right. Even Pong.
Oh wow! How do we forget Pong as the
first
last one?
Game.
Jesus.
So, I mean, stuff like that. I think they would theme the rooms. That would be pretty cool. And obviously, top tier games would probably be a little bit more expensive, like a Pac-Man, I would think, or a Space Invaders would probably garner the bigger numbers. I would totally want to stay at the Pac-Man suite.
Oh yeah, dude, Pac-Man would be awesome. And I don't know, what would Pong be like? I feel like Pong would be boring because it's just like, what do you do with Pong? You don't do anything.
Well,
maybe just mad Pong tables. I don't know.
If I had to make a guess, yeah, I think the
Beer
one
pong?
thing that would have to happen is that the game would have to be in there in some respect as a cabinet. So the arcade cabinet of the game would have to be in your room. And yeah, I would think, like, for example, you said the Pong like setup would probably be 2 beds across from each other in the room,
with something in the middle,
and then a ball with a glass top on it as the
table. That would be yeah.
And then it looks like the two.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of
cool.
like this, but 2 beds.
And it's
so something silly like that. And then the Pac-Man bed could be shaped like Pac-Man. It could be a circular bed or something like that,
or like one of those pods that you sleep in or whatever.
Yeah, but then you have a bed sheet, but the bed sheets in the thing would look like Pac-Man, so it would have that feel. So it's not like there would be like a sliver pizza slice cut out of your bed to make it like Pac-Man. It would just be like you would have your blanket have like the Pac-Man colors, and
it does actually say, it says some hotel rooms will have a retro feel while others will have a futuristic design.
Right, exactly.
So,
and then like you could have like night lights for the ghosts. So as you can see behind me, if you are on the YouTube channel, I do have one of the ghosts in the scared
wow,
state.
I didn't even realize that was there.
And so have stuff like that, on the walls, really keep the theme going.
Well, I don't know. Either way, like you said at the beginning of this too, I'm just ecstatic that something like this is even a thing. Nobody would have thought of this. Even in the 90s when like PlayStation was big, nobody would have thought of having a hotel dedicated to gamers. It was just not even on the spectrum of thought.
That they think could be successful too, and I mean,
definitely
still remains to be seen, because I don't know how gimmick hotels have worked out in the past, unless they're in places like Las Vegas and stuff like that. I don't know. Or part of a theme park. I don't necessarily know how they'll survive.
Well, this is why I think what they're doing is smart, because I think location is everything with these, and I say that because
location.
I mean, listen, duh. Any hotel, like, you put one in Miami, it's gonna get more business than if you put one in, freaking, I don't know, what's some random Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like,
there you go.
If you put, obviously you're gonna get more business in Miami, but it seems like they're targeting areas like you said, San Jose is an example. I know there's an esports arena there too. They're targeting areas with esports arenas, which I think is very, very smart. And they're not, they're only opening, would you list 5, right? Was it 5?
Yeah, I think it's between like 5 or 6.
So
and they're coming from different major areas.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going, but more specifically areas that have esports. 7. So areas that have esports arenas. So like even up here, like, we're up in Rhode Island, right? And there's no esports arenas in Rhode Island. The closest one would be somewhere in Boston, and even Boston's huge. Boston's Boston, right? And there's no, not at least from what I know, there's no huge esports arena in Boston. Not to the like where they'd hold a League of Legends World Championship or something like that. You'd have to go to San Jose or Los Angeles or Vegas. I think actually last time it was in America, they went to the Lakers. Wait, where do the Lakers play? The Staples Center, right? I think they had the League of Legends World Championship at the Staples Center when it was in North America. And it's never been, at least I don't know of anything huge up here in the Northeast. So that's cool that's their business plan, because that leads me to believe it will succeed, and they're taking it seriously. They're not just doing a pop-up random Atari hotel for the sake of doing it. They're like, nah, esports pro gamers need a gamer hotel. We're going to give you that.
Right.
So
that's cool.
Definitely cool stuff.
So, also, while we were talking, you had found a couple of other things that you wanted to follow up on. So if you are a avid listener of the podcast, Justin and I talked about a few things last week, one of them being the coronavirus.
And that the earth is flat. Let's not forget that.
Oh, yep. And NVIDIA GeForce Now, and you had found a couple of articles that you just wanted to touch upon real quick. So have at it, my friend.
Yeah, so listen, we had talked. Actually, was it 2 weeks ago that we mentioned Blizzard, and last week was coronavirus, or did we also do Blizzard last week?
No, we talk about Blizzard like almost every week.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I mean, hey, it stands to reason.
I mean,
they're
actually, talking about Blizzard in regards to this piece of it, not really. It was probably. I don't think we really touched upon Blizzard too much last week, but we talked about the NVIDIA GeForce Now and the Stadia stuff. So that's why this was kind of relevant to what we talked about last week.
So and
the coronavirus was last week.
The coronavirus was definitely last week, and that's all anybody's talking about. Even today at work, I think somebody was talking about how everybody's wearing those masks in the airport now. So it's still very much in the news, the coronavirus. So we'll get into that in a second. But first, I want to touch on this Activision Blizzard thing again. So essentially, man, Blizzard, I feel like they do stuff just so that they can be a headline now. Like they literally just like, we're going to do this because we know we're going to be in the news for it. So the title here is Activision Blizzard games dropped from NVIDIA's GeForce Now catalog. So actually, sorry, that's what we spoke about last week was the NVIDIA GeForce.
Yes.
And again, personally, I feel like the whole GeForce and Stadia is just a freaking joke right now. Everybody thinks it's like a cool, neat, cute idea, but I just don't think it's really going to take off yet. I don't think anybody's done it right so far. But for Activision Blizzard to then kind of beat them into submission and be like, nah, sorry, you guys can't have our games on your system anymore. That's just like really kills it. I mean, that's one of the biggest game developers right now with not just some of the biggest games, but some of the biggest competitive games. So with esports on the climb, you're going to want competitive games on your game streaming platform, and to not have something like Call of Duty or Hearthstone or anything like that available is just not good for whatever they're trying to do with NVIDIA GeForce. The other thing too is they really, and let's just shout out to Project X Cloud real quick. That's Microsoft's version of this thing. I know it doesn't get nearly as much publicity as the other two, or at least from what I've seen. So, but Activision Blizzard didn't really say why they did it. They didn't even give a reason.
Well, you know, after rereading this a little bit, it does seem like it was kind of one of those things where there was some type of agreement that couldn't be made between Activision Blizzard and NVIDIA to have the content on their streaming service. It's you know, they were really cookie cutter and PC about their statement. And
super, yeah.
Here is a snippet of that from Game Radar, basically stating, as we take GeForce Now to the next step in its evolution, we've worked with publishers to onboard a robust catalog of your PC. This means continually adding new games and, on occasion, having to remove games.
You're gonna love this spin. Like, oh my god! Sorry, keep going.
Similar to other digital service providers, per their request, please be advised: Activision Blizzard games will be removed from the service. While unfortunate, we hope to work together with Activision Blizzard to re-enable these games and more in the future. So basically what this is telling me is that Activision Blizzard came to the table and said, listen, guys, we want this much for your in the licensing agreement for you to be able to stream these games through your platform, GeForce Now. And GeForce probably didn't think the number was palatable because, as we know with these streaming services, I think the biggest thing they have to do is figure out how they put money towards it, whether it's we're going to put a lot of money towards infrastructure, which means we might not have enough money to get every AAA rated title that we want. And this is just part of it. And the problem is that the landscape is still so new and there are so many people trying to get their head in the game. It kind of stands to reason that somebody like a Google or a Microsoft with Project X might say, hey, Activision Blizzard, how about we throw you this? You're going to be exclusively streaming on our service because we need a couple of exclusive streams. And that's going to go to the same situation we have currently in the console wars, where consoles are going to work with different developers and get them to say, okay, XYZ is now a exclusive for this console. It's going to be the same thing with the streaming service.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if it was something else that I read from some other article somewhere, but I very much think that, like, you have, so the biggest comparison.
Did your phone just go off?
My phone, yeah. I don't.
You got to put that on mute, bro. You gotta. Can you silence that right now?
All right,
guys. Guys,
can I silencing?
Guys, can I tell you something?
It was a Twitch notification.
This is all. Oh, nice. This is all stuff that just happens. But I think we just found our opening for this episode.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. Why is it always me, Joe? Why? All right, listen.
Because you're the one who's silly.
So, all right. The biggest comparison I could think of to this is Netflix, right? Netflix and Hulu. And Jesus, I don't know how many other platforms by now, right? There's a shit ton. You got ESPN, you got Disney Plus. Duh, that just came out. Yep. So it's literally to the point where, because I think the first idea when streaming came out was, how do we just allow everything to be streamed? But then slowly, as people were like, well, we can just have everything on one platform, then the competition comes out, because obviously you don't want a monopoly. You don't want Netflix just having every single freaking thing streamed. So now it's everything's split. Some are on all platforms, but for the most part, you have like all the Disney stuff on Disney Plus, and people want to own their own content now. That's why Netflix makes its own shows. So with Activision Blizzard doing this, my thought is, even though they didn't say why, I think Activision Blizzard probably is working on some sort of streaming platform, and they're probably just going to have all their games on it, because we all know they have a big enough library of games. Well, all right, here's why I think that, though. Look at you, just shake your head at me. Don't you shake your head at me, Joe.
I just did.
Well, think about it. All right, think about all the times you have to download a client for games, right? So you had to do it for Legends of Runeterra. You have to do it for any Activision Blizzard games. They have their client, right? Then you have clients for like what's the other freaking shooter that's like Fortnite? Apex Legends. You have a client for that. You literally a client for EA Sports. Like, all these big companies have their own client to launch their games. And to me, I just see all those clients turning into a streaming platform at some point. That's when I think streaming games is going to be big.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I think you're going to have the big players that are in it now vying for those titles to be on the streaming platform, and not necessarily something where you're going to say, okay, it's time for Activision Blizzard to get into the streaming game. I just don't think they're big enough to do that versus Microsoft or a Google who wants to invest in infrastructure like that, where a company like Activision Blizzard is solely structured on making content, that I think them trying to invest some of their revenue into a streaming service and basically putting competition inside their own service is, because you're not going to be able to just do it by saying, hey,
and not
for
well, that's what Disney did.
Low fee. What are you talking about?
That's what Disney did. Disney was solely focused on creating content, and now they have a platform. And now, what do they partner with National Geographic or whatever? So like,
no, they own National Geographic.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, they own it. So,
but that's the thing. They've acquired companies and entertainment places throughout the years, so they've built a library, let alone their own library that they have.
So is that what Activision Blizzard becomes?
Marvel.
Because look, Activision bought Blizzard.
No, that's going to be like in this respect, that's a Sony or a Microsoft.
Okay, yeah.
Disney in this scenario is a Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo.
So do you think Activision Blizzard's going to get bought by a Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo or something like that?
I mean, it could always happen. I don't know. I mean, there are still tons of major players in this game that may just stay independent and just work with these companies. You have Ubisoft, you have Activision Blizzard. Yeah. You know, you still have Sega, even though they're kind of low on the totem.
Sega who?
Low. Yeah, exactly. Well, guys, just so you know, I know we don't talk a lot about video game movies, although we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. Sonic the Hedgehog comes out on Valentine's Day, and
wait, it comes out tomorrow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm going tomorrow night. Oh, I have to go now. Oh my god, it looks terrible, but I'm doing it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, come on. James Marsden and Sonic the Hedgehog and Jim Carrey.
All right. Well, I mean, Jim Carrey, I feel like is probably going to be the one saving grace, but I don't know, man. The animation.
Dr. Robotnik, depending on what show you watch, they call them all different things. It used to be like Dr. Eggman, and then there's Dr. Robotnik in the U.S. version. But like, there's this cartoon my daughter watches on Netflix, and they call him like Dr. Eggman or Mr. Eggman or something. And I'm like, it's Dr. Robotnik, right? And it's just like they have all these different names.
You always go with the original. Go with the original name. That's what works. Anyways, I think Robotnik was the original one, right?
So don't hate on me, trolls.
The animation on the Sonic though is just so bad. Oh,
I'm glad they redesigned him. He looks much better.
He does look better than whatever they were gonna push out originally. But still.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video that my daughter found where it's basically both of them screaming at each other. So they have the old version of Sonic and the new version of Sonic, and then it's just the cut of the trailer of them screaming. So it's kind of funny.
I kind of want to find that now. Damn it.
Okay, well we're gonna have to show it. We're gonna have to show something, or at least link that. I don't know where she found it.
Oh man, and I don't even know how I would find that either. But all right, well, hey, it happens. Oh wait, well, I think I found something, but we'll wait. All right. So, anyways, wow, that was a sidetrack. Freaking Sonic, man. If you find it, let me know and I'll search it.
Oh, I'll send me the link. I'll have to find it.
So, all right, what the heck were we just talking about? Oh, that's right. All right, so Activision Blizzard, and you know, Activision Blizzard is on the tip of our tongue a lot too. So I do feel like, I don't know, something's gonna happen with them. I don't know if they're gonna get bought or they're gonna make a big purchase of another company, or you know, maybe Diablo 4. They released Diablo 4 and it's something that we're not expecting. Like there is a PvP, or they have the shop active again so people can start selling equipment. I don't know. I just feel like it's all building up to something with all the publicity that's been around. And that statement, oh my God, you know, you nailed it with PC. That statement that GeForce released on it was, occasionally we have to remove games. Yeah, no shit. So thanks for reminding us. So it's good PR person right there. Good PR person.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So next up, what do we got on the docket, Joe? Where the hell am I?
So you just wanted to catch up on the coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
You said you had a CNN article here on CNN Business about how people in China are using video games to keep each other company because no one can have physical contact with each other, apparently.
Yeah. To me, all right, listen, I guess I don't want to say that because I guess the coronavirus does exist. It's a real thing. It's not fake or made up. I was going to say people are just using it as an excuse to play video games, but listen, I mean, hey, if there's a positive side of video games and being, you know, locking yourself in your room in the dark and just playing video games, this is it. You don't get the coronavirus. That's the positive side of it. So I did just want to touch on that quickly because it's funny that article came up right after we had mentioned the coronavirus possibly delaying things. I will say in the article, it does mention again that the coronavirus itself is currently delaying video game production. But the video game sales have gone up, and that's what's attributed to, you know, the whole virus having people play more video games. But so hopefully, I don't know, this thing's still going on. So I'm hoping that it does not delay the PS5 or the Xbox. Is that selfish? Is that selfish that all we care about is whether or not the video game systems are delayed and not the millions of people that are sick with this virus? Are we selfish, Joe?
Well. Number one, I don't know if the epidemic has hit millions of people.
All right, not millions. No,
I think it says that
59,000 people.
59,000 people, which is a blip on the radar when it comes to the amount of people in China.
Hey, all lives matter, Joe.
I didn't say it didn't.
All lives Joe.
I was kind of making a kind of a comparison to how many people are in China.
Yeah, it's like 1.4 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
So I did just want to bring that up quickly, just to follow back around with what we had discussed last week. So just to make it seem like we have some sense of order on this podcast. All right. So last up is esports and Adderall. We're gonna be talking about a little bit of drugs on this podcast, boys and girls. So
drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad. Don't do drugs. So let me preface this by saying we do not condone the use of drugs in any atmosphere, especially in competitive esports. And I actually mean that wholeheartedly. Don't use drugs in competitive esports because there are some leagues that are banning
drugs
it.
Are bad. Drugs are bad.
So actually, I'm trying to think. I think it's League of Legends. I think League of Legends. As I think it was in this article, they mentioned that League of Legends does currently ban performance enhancing drugs, and they actually do test for it occasionally. So that's good on their part, but there's a ton, and this is what the article also states, there is a ton of esports games that do not test for it, and apparently, according to this, everybody pretty much knows about it. Which doesn't surprise me. It's just like everybody knows about drugs in general, and people just don't talk about it. Like, you know what I mean? So, but it kind of stinks because it creates an atmosphere that everybody thinks they have to use drugs. Because even if you're really good not using Adderall, you're still gonna feel pressure from everybody else to use that. And like, so we were just talking about you, right? So you resisted the pressure all throughout childhood, right?
Yep.
That's what these people are up against. Every day.
Yeah, I think my situation's a little different because I wasn't trying to make something competitive out of it. It was just more about being around people who used controlled substances in their lives and being able to not fall into the peer pressure of like older family members in regards to it, like cousins that were like young teenagers, me being younger than them, and them doing stuff like that and kind of being around that type of stuff at some point or once in a while and just not wanting to do it or even have an inkling to try it. So with this, though, it's a completely different situation because you're talking about your livelihood.
Yeah, you're making
and the
money.
Ability to win prizes and to become famous.
That's even more pressure at that point.
I mean, it's just like an NFL superstar or an NBA
I was
superstar.
just going to say that in comparison to NFL. Yep, steroids.
And even let's go back to baseball and the fact that doping was a big deal in baseball. And as a matter of fact, stuff like this and uppers and things of that nature in the 90s was a big problem and an epidemic in Major League Baseball because they weren't really testing for uppers and greenies and things of that nature. So you're talking about a sports environment where people were spending millions and millions of dollars to just, play a game, basically. And now it's like coming for a full circle because we're playing games digitally and we're still doing drugs to try to get an advantage. So there's no type of sport, it looks like, that's
going to avoid it.
Immune to this situation. And it's sad, but it's part of the whole, the whole game. People are always going to try to find an advantage, and when they do, they'll exploit it until they can't anymore. They would say, what is it? You ain't cheating, you ain't trying, kind of thing. And I think that's what.
Yep.
Yeah. What's happening here, and I get it. You know what I mean? I just like. I would like to say something like this, and I can't say for a fact that this is the case, and it's kind of silly, but I know that he used Adderall. But one of my friends used to have Adderall, and he would do the all-nighters, and he would play like Madden and stuff like that, and it was just fun for him. But this rings a bell to me, and I don't even know if it was the case, but the original Dragon Ball Z game that came out on PS2, I believe it was.
The original Budokai?
Was a fighter.
Or was it something else?
Yeah, it was Budokai. Yeah, I think it was Budokai. Yeah, right. I whooped him every time we played. Like there was no thinking about it. It was every time we fought, I would just get him with the spirit bomb at the end, and he was donezo. And like a couple of weeks later, he came back and he started to beat me, and it was because he said I just kept playing it and playing it and playing it to get better and better and better until I could beat you. And not to say that he used Adderall to keep up to play, but you know, back then we had a lot to do, and he had the ability to play late nights, and I'm sure he might have done stuff like that just because he wanted to be the best at everything. And so,
well, and that's what Adderall does too. I mean, it allows you to stay up for, 24 hours straight or whatever. So even if you're not playing the game while on Adderall, you can still use it to like train, right? So
yeah, and that's the point. And I think that's part of what's happening here
Yeah.
with this esports thing. I think this is all about practice, and the fact that if you're playing League of Legends or you're playing Dota or whatever game it is that you're you're competitive in, you're basically just trying to play as much as you can.
Exactly.
And maximize
grind
your
it
time.
out to rank up and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just, you get to a point where you're tested for it now, so you got to be careful.
Well, and that's
a good thing.
It's almost more dangerous though if you think about it that way, because when comparing it to like football as an example, right? So not to say that using steroids or whatever isn't dangerous in football. I mean, football is inherently a dangerous sport anyways.
Well, steroids alone are
dangerous, but steroids are a regimen, right? So you inject yourself once a week or whatever the time period is that you're using the steroids. Adderall can be abused more so, specifically because, like we're saying, right, that you can use it to just play and play and play and play and play. And that's the difference between video games and football. Football, you play one game a week, right? So you might, let's say it's a football player's taking speed before the game. You're taking the speed before the game once a week, right? With video games, it's more prone to addiction. It's every day. And every video game, typically in a ranked atmosphere, quote unquote, you need to grind the hell out of the game to get to those like there's people that you see. So if you're a listener and you're just like a casual, gamer, and you play, you're kind of good at a lot of games, like maybe you're really good at Madden or something like that, and you wreck it with all your friends. I don't think everybody quite understands people that make it to like Masters rank or the very top rank in video games. They have those hours tracked things on like Steam. It shows you like how many hours you've played a game. They have played hundreds, if not thousands of hours into that game. And when you think about thousands, easy, like Rocket League, I think I was talking to my roommate, and I think I've played like just over 100 hours of Rocket League by now. And I'm like, I'm almost in plat. But I'm not, now I'm starting to feel it's like very hard to level up, right? And to rank up. And we were talking, and he had watched some YouTube videos of some pros that played Rocket League, and they literally have all played well over 1,000 hours. And they're in, I think it's Grand Champion or Master. I forget which one it's called in Rocket League, but they're in the top tier. And that's like that with every game. I mean, I'm playing Legends of Runeterra right now. You have guys that are in Masters, and it's only been like out for 3 weeks in beta. But that's because they're playing like all day, every day of the week.
All day, every day.
Literally, yeah. And that's not like football. You literally have to rest at some point. You can't run around and hit people on the field 24 hours a day. Video games, you can. You take Adderall, you stay up 24 hours, you play. So I think it's much more dangerous. And I think that the esports industry as a whole will be much better off, even financially, if they crack down universally across the board for every game ASAP. Because if they don't crack down on every game, it's going to really mess with some people.
Agreed.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Wow, we agree. Wow. Are we going to end this podcast agreeing on something? Are we?
No, because we have one more segment left.
Oh, do we have one more segment? Oh.
We have one more segment, everybody.
Un mas.
Even though these don't seem like segments, they actually are. They're pieces.
I swear there's organization in this whole thing. Somewhere. There's...
So... I am going to announce the fact that now we're going to go into our game release section that we just started last week. And what that entails is that we're going to tell you what games are coming out for the following week. Basically, it's going to be the week that you hear this because we're releasing our podcasts on Mondays Sunday nights, Monday morning. So these are the games that are going to be coming out this coming week. And as always, since this was Justin's idea to do this, I like to give him the floor to be able to tell us what games are being released, and I will just make comments here and there about what they are. So please, Justin, if you don't mind.
Oh, snap.
Why don't you let us know?
Maybe I mind, Joe. Maybe I mind. Did you ever think about that? Maybe I mind.
Well, that's why I said if you don't mind.
All right.
If I thought you minded, I'd just be like, listen, buddy, it's time to go through the game release section. Come on.
Do it.
This is your idea. This is your idea, not mine.
You're going to freaking do it, and you're going to like it.
I'm not gonna waste my words on these games. God.
All right. I will say.
Just do it now.
I will say I am happy we started doing this because my mind has expanded exponentially in how many games I now know about.
He wants to buy more video games.
Oh yeah, it's probably bad for me ultimately, but yeah, I mean, I just didn't even know some of these existed, to be honest with you. I've looked some up and I'm like, what the hell is this?
I knew Puyo.
So, oh yeah, do you? You play it regularly?
I didn't, but I knew it existed.
Did you really know it existed?
Yes.
No, you didn't. No, you freaking did. How the hell? Where in the world did you find that game or hear about that game?
I used to run a video game store.
All right, yeah, but still, like, what the Christ is Poro? Or sorry, see, I'm saying Poro now from League of Legends.
It's Puyo.
Sorry, excuse me. Jesus Christ, I can't even say it.
Pew.
Pew. All right. Puyo. All right, so we're just gonna start with that one because clearly that one needs to be announced first. And honestly, I pulled up a little clip of Puyo, and at first,
very competitive.
Is it really?
I don't know.
No, you stop messing with me. Now I think you actually know about this game.
There's there's a game. There's a thing on Nintendo for Puyo Champions. There's a launch trailer that was in May of 2019, so they had a Champions edition of Puyo.
Well, where there's competition to be had, people will do it.
Right, exactly.
So I'm playing the video, FYI, Joe. So if you guys are on the YouTube video, you can see briefly what this looks like. And when I first saw it, I was like, hey, this kind of looks like a good game. And I think the only reason I thought that was because of the sprites. So I'm partial to sprite looking characters. And because I like that era of video games, like the sprite RPGs, like Wild Arms and Final Fantasy VII and stuff. And now I'm just like, what the fuck? It looks like fucking Tetris. Like, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's basically like a weird, tripped out version of Tetris. Like, we were just talking about Adderall. I think you need to be taking some acid while you play this game to actually play it successfully. So that comes out on the 20th. So for the Switch, by the way, only the Switch. So this is exclusive to the Switch, it seems like. Additionally, we have Corruption 2029. And did you have a chance to look that up, Joe?
I did not look that up.
Oh god,
I was stuck on Puyo.
Oh god, I gotta. Okay, so this looks better.
What happened to you?
Well, I hit my mic. It didn't. I don't think it'll. I don't think anybody heard it, but I hit it. I saw it. I knew it. So. Corruption 2029.
In Epic Games.
Wait, it's Epic Games? Is that what you're saying?
It's an Epic Games.
It's an Epic Games game?
Yeah, it's $19.99.
Oh, wow, it is. Holy shit.
It's developed by the Bearded Ladies and published by the Bearded Ladies.
What the hell? And creators of... So the Bearded Ladies, for all of you that don't know who the hell that is, because I don't either... they created Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden. This actually doesn't look bad. It looks kind of like a weird mix between Destiny and Division. And I say that because the characters kind of look like they're from Destiny, but they're not really. And then they kind of look like regular, Division guys, but not really. I don't know. It's weird. But it does look decent, and Epic is, Epic. So that comes out on February 17th for the PC. So I'm sure that'll be on Steam. Mo Coco. The freaking names this week, man. Where do they come up with this stuff? Mo Coco.
Japan. To come up with it from Japan.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. It's all Japan stuff. So Mo Coco, give me some Mo Coco. Is a nostalgic arcade gameplay remastered. You're saving. What is it with Japanese games and just like hentai looking girls?
Because that's what they're all about, man.
Oh my god.
That is what they are all about, and I mean, come on.
I mean, hey, whatever. If people are gonna buy it, they're gonna make money off it.
I'm sorry. I just logged onto Steam to see it, and basically, it looks like you're like destroying things, and part of like you are destroying things. You get a scantily clad picture of a woman or a girl in the background. So this is a pretty interesting one. This is like
the game of games.
This is the game of games. If you win, you get to see a picture of an anime girl in some type of skimpy clothing outfit, some type of skimpy outfit. So I mean, there's definitely some light at the end of the tunnel if you play this game for sure.
So that comes out also on the 17th for the PC for all of you with a hentai interest, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You guys who are interested in blue-haired chicks.
We're not judging. Right,
no,
Joe? We're not judging.
I am actually pretty impressed by some of the artwork here. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the artwork, yeah.
I'm a connoisseur of the anime. So, hey, whatever floats people's boats, buddy.
You just wanted an excuse to use the word connoisseur. Don't lie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll have today on Game Wild. We discuss
Joe's new interest.
My new interest. It looks like it's a mixture of hentai and video games.
All right, so then here's one that we can actually it's a regular normal game.
Is it though?
I mean, yeah. You never played Bayonetta?
I know.
Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th anniversary bundle. So it's just a bundle coming out for Bayonetta. That's gonna be for PS4 and Xbox One. That comes out on the 18th. Now, this next one, Drone Champions League. So it's the game. The game.
The game.
So have you heard anything about actual like real life Drone Champions League?
I haven't.
So apparently, and I don't know a whole lot about this, so bear with me here as I Google this. So there's one of my friends has a drone, and he had looked into this before, and there's a legit Drone Champions League where you can race drones like in real life, and I guess that's what this game is now, where it's basically taking that and putting it into a game. I don't know. Does it say if it's gonna be? Is this like a VR thing?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I would be impressed if this is like a VR game. But it says for PC too, which leads me to believe that it would be VR.
Well, a blast from the past, guys. Very well-known video game publisher is actually publishing this. Wait. THQ.
Holy shit!
Is actually
they're alive still? Wait, what's the one? Wait, did they do Tony Hawk? Was that who it was?
THQ?
No, what's the game I'm thinking of that everybody knows THQ from? Was it Tony Hawk?
They did wrestling.
No, there's a game that I played when I was younger. Top THQ games. That's how I have it burned into my head. Like that's how I know THQ's logo. Oh, they did Saints Row the third. They did Saints Row.
Is that really your game?
I want to say that's where I first.
That you remember THQ for?
I don't know actually. Maybe not.
I mean, I feel like
I'm going through a list.
THQ had.
They had a lot. There's a lot of WWE stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where I knew them from, and I think where they made it big was kind of with the WWE games.
Yeah, maybe it is from SmackDown and Raw and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe that is. But I don't know. I mean, it looks like and they did Darksiders as well, which I didn't know. I didn't. Yep. Wow. So yeah,
they filed for bankruptcy apparently in 2012, 2013. So.
Oh, that's sad. Well, hopefully.
That's why I was surprised to see them making a game because they really haven't been around for quite some time.
I mean, I really hope this does well because I've always been intrigued with drone racing.
Yeah, I would have to tell you that I would think that if THQ is going to try to make a slam in the video game world again, that drone racing of the game would not be the one that I would pick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know, that's what we call grasping at straws.
Hey, let them do them, okay?
Our biggest comeback is now.
Drones.
It comes through drones.
All right, next up, another regular old game, Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition for the Switch. Still seems weird rolling off the tongue that a game like Devil May Cry is even on Nintendo, to be honest with you. It's just so weird to me. All the games that had good graphics were like never on Nintendo my whole life. That comes out on the 20th. Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 2 comes out on the 20th. If you don't know what Fortnite is, then I would just turn off the podcast. Puyo we already went over. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 comes out February 20th on the Switch. I don't know why they wouldn't have that release tandem with the movie. That seems kind of weird.
I don't know. I think that was something they dropped the ball on.
Somebody dropped the ball. Ball drop.
But it's not Sonic the Hedgehog the movie game, so it's
so that's got to be it. Yeah.
It's just a rehash of a game that you can play on your Sega Genesis.
You know what's stupid? That's actually a thing now though. Sonic the Hedgehog the movie the game. Like that's actually a thing with games now.
Yeah, I don't know when the last game movie came out. Like
the game
came with the game.
Sounds so stupid.
It's like this is
the movie
Fighter,
game.
The movie, the game. That was a real thing, by the way, and it actually had the sprites of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Wait, Street Fighter, really?
Yeah, the
Jesus.
Street Fighter the movie.
We can't get away from Street Fighter lately, huh? This thing
God,
just keeps popping up.
Guys, there's this thing that used to be called an arcade, okay? And this is a place where people would go to not just socialize, but play video games together. Now we do it from the comfort of our own homes in front of our computers. But these places, now like museums.
They are like museums, basically.
Are rare. No, museums aren't rare, but.
So, next, we have a barcade. You ever been to the barcade over here?
Yeah, I have not been yet.
Yeah,
but
the barcade's good.
We should do that one night. Actually, we should probably do that.
We gotta probably film a little bit from there too. That place is sick. They have a bar too, and we know the owner, so we got an in.
Wait, you know the owner?
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which one? Which bar? Which one are we talking about?
The one that is right next to Coliseum.
Oh, is that near Casertas?
Oh God, I don't know what Concertas is.
Casertas?
I've heard of it before, but it's that pizza place? That's Casertas? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think so. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Wow, that was okay. Sidetrack.
Well, there's a couple of places. So there's two places that I know of. So you'll have to send me.
We'll go there. We'll go there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go there now.
All right.
And we'll film from there.
The Under Night in Birth. This is weird. Under Night in Birth EXE : late parentheses, or actually, what are those? Those aren't called parentheses. They're called brackets. Bracket street bracket. I don't even know why that's like. You know what that reminds me of? This title reminds me of Dot Hack. Remember the game Dot Hack?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this reminds me of. I mean, honestly, looking at some of the gameplay, it looks sick. So I'll just pull it up here on the YouTube video in the Steam store. It looks pretty cool. Oh God, it's at the end of the video. So it looks pretty cool. It's kind of like an anime style game. It says pick one of 20 unique characters and fight your way through the dangers of the Hollow Knight and claim your victory over those who would get in your way. Experience intuitive and tight 2D fighter controls with a splash of devastating combos and unique fighting styles. So it's kind of like it sounds like a fighting dungeon crawler if I got that game type correctly, which I'm not positive I have seen many fighting dungeon crawlers, and it says it has a lot of very positive recent reviews. So I don't know. I might pick this up. It looks interesting. That's for sure.
Actually, it looks like a fighting game.
Just straight fighting? You know, it seemed like
straight up fighter.
Yeah, just straight up fighter.
No, straight up fighter, man.
Just from some of the preview, it kind of got me like a dungeon crawler.
Anime fighting. It's an anime fighter.
Anime fighter. Gotcha.
Yep. Sorry, guys. He was totally off base on that.
I tried. So that's February 20th for the PS4 and it's not even on PC. What the Christ? PS4 and Switch. So there goes that.
Yeah, it's very rare that a fighting game is on a PC. I don't know. It just doesn't.
No, yeah, I agree. And last but not least is Ciel Fledge. You got anything on that, Joe?
For the PC and Switch.
Yeah, Ciel Fledge. So a racing simulator. So this is a simulator game.
Nice.
Take a young girl under your wing and raise her to adulthood in Ciel Fledge. A daughter raising simulator. It's literally a daughter raising simulator. Man,
oh boy,
dude, they have a game for everything.
So the question is, should I try this out to see what's gonna happen to my daughter? So like, let me simulate how to raise a fake daughter to see how good I'm gonna be at raising my real daughter.
Well, no, the real question is.
Well, I can't go to my stats for my daughter. I'm looking at this game right now, and you can go to like stats and techniques and stuff, and be like.
Wouldn't it be good if you could pull up like a menu at home?
Here's an item, daughter. Oh my God.
And then you get instant feedback on a scale of like 0 to 100 on how much she liked the item.
Right, exactly.
So you know for the future, like, all right, I just gave her a popsicle. Right. I got a 95. I gave her a pen and I got a 2. So now we know what she likes. No, the real question, Joe, is do we get CL Fledge or do we get Mo Coco?
Get Mo Coco.
like literally, like, what do you, if you were threatened?
Listen, right now, I'm gonna tell you right now. I usually tell this in post, but right now, what you should do is put a picture up of one of the girls from Mococo up on YouTube, and as I said that Mococo thing, so like it would be funny.
Joe, if you were threatened right now and it was life or death, and you had to choose between Mo Coco, you had to choose between a daughter-raising simulator or a hentai picture reveal game, which is what I'm gonna go with for this.
Yeah, sure.
And you had to spend money to buy either one of these, which one would you buy?
Well, since I actually am raising a real daughter, I'm already trying that, so I'll go with the hentai game because I get more enjoyment out of that.
For the art, right?
Oh, absolutely.
For the art. It's just for the art.
Absolutely. It's very tasteful too, guys. I don't know if you've gone on there, but go on the Steam store, and check it out. Very tasteful. I don't even know how you actually reveal the stuff. It looks really weird, but quite frankly, it's worth your time.
I wouldn't give it that good of an endorsement. All right. Well, that's the roundup.
That remains to be seen.
That's the roundup of game releases for this week. So once this video releases on Sunday, Monday, these are all for the current week. So you can look forward to some Mo Coco and some daughter raising simulators this week. It's
Mo Coco's on Monday.
It's a big week in gaming this week. All right. Big, huge week in gaming.
Big week in gaming and anime, apparently.
It's funny because it probably is a big week because of Fortnite Chapter 2, Season 2 releasing. But
yeah, so be it.
But it has to compete with Mo Coco.
Mo Coco. Let's get in there, guys.
All right. Anyways,
God, I hope we have a lot of listeners that laugh at people laughing, because that's the only way we're gonna actually survive on this podcast. Because all he does is laugh. And
God!
I'm not trying to be super funny, but he's making my confidence level of my comedic ability a little high. Although, listen, guys, I do want to finish with this. This is something that just came up, but. We spoke about my buddy from Alaska last week because I had to give him props for his team winning the Super Bowl and all that stuff, and telling you about his prowess on Warcraft and how good he is and all that stuff. And so I told him, you got to listen to this podcast. It's going to talk about you. And he gave us a ringing endorsement, said my voice was too low, however. That's why the mic is up close now. But he did say that he was laughing a lot. So I'm glad that I'm giving joy to people by making fun of
definitely.
Justin.
All right, whoa. I said definitely a little too early there. God damn it.
Laugh at that because that was good. That was good.
God.
And so, you know, it's cool. I'm happy that he was able to listen to it. We actually had another person from work who listened to it and enjoyed it, and he actually started to listen to the older episodes. He started with the last week's episode, so he'll probably listen to this one too. Big shout out to my boy Al.
Al Carteret? Nice. Hell yeah.
At the electrician. So
the electrician.
Yeah, the electrician.
Yeah, so thank you to anybody who's been listening. Honestly, it's awesome.
Everyone.
Yep.
So we are going to close out the podcast now. We want to thank you. We are looking to finally probably do the Legends of Runeterra battle that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Hoping we can get that done tonight. So look forward to that on YouTube, hopefully. And that'll be coming out in the coming week or two, hopefully. So,
oh yeah,
guys, that's this week's edition of Game Wild. We appreciate you guys listening. We will see you guys next week.
Next week, baby. Peace out.
Peace out.